We were having dinner at the time. My mother was a homeroom teacher. She would bring home a few students who were struggling academically. One time, a student was at our house and doing her homework while we ate dinner. All of a sudden, a lot of policemen barged through the door, pushing my dad aside roughly. They were very rude. The policemen went to different rooms, opening our drawers and searching through them. When the student was in the living room, she asked the police, "How can you arrest good people?" My mother was worried about her, so my mother said, "Ying, don't talk, don't get involved." She asked the student to wrap up and go home. Ying wouldn't leave. Before the police left, they arrested both my parents. My mother quickly called my aunt to pick me up, and from then on, I stayed with my grandmother at my aunt's house. I don't know what kind of mentality the police had when they came to our house and did such a thing. It was hard for me to imagine police behaving like bandits. But I did see it with my own eyes. It was truly terrifying. For many years, the relatives took turns hosting my grandma and me. They covered the tuition and the living expenses. I didn't feel comfortable making any additional requests on food or toys because it felt like I was already an extra burden on my relatives. I could no longer trouble others, and it was not easy for them. Many of my relatives practiced Falun Gong, and they lost their jobs because their employers did not want to keep them. I went to school by myself every day. When I got to the school gate, I would see that other children were accompanied by their parents, but I had to walk a long way alone, carrying a heavy school bag. I was sad. I was like them before. Now it was different, and I felt the sadness creeping over me. I thought I would just stay with my aunt from now on. I have a cousin in the house, how wonderful. But after a while, I started to feel that, my parents are not around and my aunt is only hosting me as a favor. Slowly, the feeling of being under someone else's roof started eating away at me. At the end of school, other schoolmates would say, "I want to go home and I want my mother to cook some good food for me." I didn't want to go home at all. I just wanted to have a little bit of alone time. Sometimes my aunt would ask me, "Why are you so late? Other kids were home long ago. How come you just got here?" I didn't go anywhere. I just deliberately slowed down my steps. When I went home, it was not my home. What do I go home for? I thought. Then Grandma told me in private, "Don't ask for anything. You are already living in someone else's house. Your aunt supports your parents, helps them, and gives them money. Your entire family lives on other support. What else do you want?" It was as if I couldn't relax. I was always confined to a small space. I couldn't have any wants or ideas. Like weekends, other students either went out with their parents or visited the library or played at nearby places and parks. I had nothing. I was at my aunt's house, facing the wall alone. Thankfully, I had some Falun Dafa books. I also practiced Falun Gong, and those books gave me a lot of comfort.